Hello, I am Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are exploring my 2020 death year. And this is my 6 month check in. So, we're going to have to break this up into 3 parts, folks, because there's a lot to cover. I decided to do it in 3 parts because I wanted to show you, like visually show you on a spreadsheet, like the black and white of it all with my collecting habits, putting it out front and center, just putting it out there. And yeah, it's eye opening for me. It may be eye opening for you. I don't know. But what I take away from it is I have a lot of takeaways, and that's going to be in another part, another video, not in this one. This one is just devoted to me sharing with you some excerpts of my death year journal. I tabbed it. I plan on recycling all these tabs, by the way, just so you know. That's why I didn't write on them, but they're like color tabbed, and they will be recycled because I will do another 6 month check-in. Well, I guess it'll be at that point a 12 month check-in December, and then I will then see where we go from there, because I have made a decision, which I'll talk a little bit. Maybe we'll cover that in this video. I don't know if I talk much about it in the journal or not, but I made a decision that I'm going to extend my death year experience for 6 months, so making it a total of 18 months, not just 12 months. So it'll be low buy, which is what I was in from January to June, and then from June to December it's going to be no buy, and then to ease me back into this whole thing, I'm going to do a low buy. And yeah, so that came of my whole death year experience so far. And I have accumulated quite a few decks, quite a few by way of gifts, people giving them to me. And then there was a few pre-orders that were from last year and wish list items. So there were some purchases. I'm not going to say there weren't, but I don't think that I fell off or anything like that. I think I'm still continuing the course. In fact, I really like my deck collecting experience so far, and I like the pause on purchases and the having to really think about, do I really want to add this to my collection? Do I really want to break my death year pact to myself with my terms and conditions? Do I want to violate that? And so I have to. So these are kind of like little bits and bobs of what I was thinking, and some things might be a little inflammatory. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, guys, but some things won't be. Some things can be. And I'm gonna just read certain excerpts because some of it is long-winded, and I'm not gonna bore you with all of those other details. So let's see. January 1st, I wrote, it's a new year and a new decade. It's also the start of my 2020 death year. This is the year that I deepened my relationship with the people and things already in my life. I resisted the urge to back the, listen to this. I resisted the urge to back the Emerging from Darkness Tarot, pre-ordering, and the pre-ordering of the Spacious Tarot. That was a savings of $120 in total. Instead of purchasing decks, I decided to send Happy New Year text messages to my dear friends. That felt so much better. It did. It really did. And so I start going on about the beautiful decks that I have in my collection. Talk about the purpose of this journal. I will note my feelings, struggles, and triumphs on this journey. Some excerpts will be read for YouTube video updates. I plan to be successful in living a more intentional and purposeful life. And then I wrote, I was nervous as the new year approached, but deep down there was a sense of relief. I am choosing to say no to new decks, new books, crystals, clothes, and accessories. I'm going to enjoy and use what I already have. Yes, I do recognize that I will face fear of missing out from time to time, but I am interested in seeing how I overcome it and rise above. Let's see. Or if I struggle and how I learn from it. I am proud of myself for already with the 2 decks, kind of like trying to boost myself up day one. Let's see. They're on my wish list and are available in 2020. And if they are available in 2021 and I still desire them, then I will get them at that time. Wow, a whole new way of life for me. A whole new world. And that was January 1st, 2020. So that's what I wrote there. So I kind of had to read you the whole little thing because and I had to modify it to be a low buy. And to me it was a low buy. And I'm going to show you proof that it was a low buy with my in-depth analysis, which is going to be in another part of this 3-part series. Let's see. Let's see, what else did I tab? So I tried to tab month to month so far. Our journal quite a bit. You can kind of see we're almost at the halfway point. But things, it kind of slowed down for me for journaling because I was like, I don't know if I don't need to bore myself or you with like, oh, there's this deck. I just would throw it on my wish list now, and I figured I'd talk about it in that part of the video. Let's see. January 11, 2020. We are now day 11 in my death year, and I feel like I could use a new deck, laughing out loud. But I'm remaining strong. I realize I'm in a phase of conscious enjoyment of my things. I get to shop my decks and crystals. It feels so good to be no longer in a place of acquisition, but in a place of appreciation and fullness of what I have. I am not spending lots of time combing through websites, searching for new decks to score. Now in my collection was the perfect time. Let's see, now in my collection, I don't know what I mean by that. Was the perfect time to pause on purchases. Oh, okay. I see what I mean. So now is a good time to pause on purchases. I will attend the Northwest Tarot Symposium and the Gem Fair and get crystals to include in giveaways. I plan to sell my blue calcite, honey calcite, and Alessio crystals all on Etsy, which I ended up changing my mind. Didn't feel like selling crystals. I do have my blue calcite on Etsy, but I don't have the other ones listed. And I didn't go, there's a tab in here, but I'm just going to save you troubles. I didn't go to the Gem Fair in February, and I don't know, something told me don't go to the Gem Fair, and I didn't, and I was really proud of myself. Because I can usually go all kinds of crazy in the Gem Fair, and they come like quarterly, so 4 times a year. Thing. Let's see. Get to shop my decks. Why do I have this one? Oh, and crystals. Yeah, I want to read that part too. Oh, January 14th, moment of weakness. The Starseed Oracle. But in fairness to myself, that was a wish list item from 2019, which actually met the criteria of my terms and conditions. That if it was a 2019 wish list item, And I still really loved it and wanted it and thought it would be a great addition. And it is. I don't know if you can see it. They're over there on my reading table back there. So they're around. They needed to come into the collection. But I always felt, even just purchasing decks, that I allowed myself permission even before I even started this whole thing. I still felt kind of like weird, like I shouldn't do it, like I should not do it. But I did it, and what can I say? I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I talked about how it worked wonderfully with my Moonchild Tarot. And I ended up combining it. Thank you, Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot. It like unlocked something for those two decks. So now I have separated them. One for my more like, this is for the collective, like global, like kind of universal energy, and then then I have another one that I use with the Work Your Light Oracle, which feels more interpersonal, personal relationship-y kind of deck. And then there's the bigger Starseed Energy deck. So there are two of them now, but they're mixed. So amazing. It works so much better. Oh my God. Let's see. That's me having to get a little creative with my death year. Having to, say, okay, you get to get this because this met your terms and conditions, girl, but you gotta make it work, and you better make it work. You gotta use it. Let's see. All right, let's see. What else did I tab? January 19th, I worked on my Etsy shop, the listings to make them more up to date, I guess. What am I talking about here? Oh, no purchases. I don't know why I tapped this one. Oh, maybe because I talked about my death year. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Sorry, guys. I'm like lost as to why I tabbed it, and I'm lost as to what I'm talking about in here. So we're gonna skip that one. I'm sure it was good because I go on and on, but time is of the essence. Let's see. January 29th, super liberating to not think about buying new decks. I think I'm ready to sell some decks to Beers Books. Beers Books is one of my favorite bookstores of all time. It is like literally like 5 minutes walking distance from my office downtown, and I love it. I go there on my lunch breaks. Well, this was pre-COVID. I'd go there on my lunch breaks, and they sell decks there, and they would purchase my decks, and it was just a match made in heaven, that place. And bookstores, and I just always, ever since I was a little girl, loved bookstores. Clearly, I got a thing for some paper. So yeah, I didn't make it there though. Or I never brought my decks, and then the whole COVID-19, and then they closed down for a little while. I think they're fine. They reopened, and I'm super excited about getting back there. What else? Oh, I talk about on January 31st. I'm going to read excerpts. Let me skip. Let's skip one. What am I doing in February? Oh, I talked about I didn't go to the gym fair. Didn't go. Got some productivity going on with projects. That was nice. So I was moving forward. I realized that there was a lot more time in my day when I'm not perusing, looking, combing through different sites and Facebook groups and Instagram and Etsy and, oh my goodness, Kickstarter. There's so many places and ways to get new decks, and I just don't do that. All right. Oh, February 10th, my birthday. Today is my birthday, and I held strong. I did not get a deck. I got my magnifying glass, though. Yeah. Oh, got some Hoodoo books through my library, ebooks. That was even pre-COVID, because that was February 10th. Okay, what else do I have? Let's keep going. February 16th. Well, I bought a new deck. The Sacred Self-Care Oracle, which I plan to use in like a new tarot reading offering, but I end up using it primarily for myself, and I love that deck so much. I'm so glad. I should have had it down here to show you some of the purchases. I think I'm going to do, in the part 3, I will include all the decks that I had. This is just like journal time, story time. But I will have those decks that I got this year to show you, because I want to talk about them in my tips and takeaways. But I'm getting sleepy. It's getting late, and I still have to edit videos and upload them. So we're just going to do this tonight. But I'm going to make a note to myself, include the decks. Let's keep going. Let's see. Yeah, I broke a rule. I actually broke a rule because that one was not on. I don't think it was. Let's see. Oh, it says. Here's why I don't feel like I entirely. Why I don't feel like I entirely broke a rule. Okay, so this is me justifying. It says, this deck is going to be helpful in my spiritual and tarot business practice. I can't write it off because I would also use it for personal use. I have one other deck I plan to buy this year for the same reasons, and that's the My Quality Time Self-Care Activities Oracle card, which is a second edition, and it's $47. Well, I end up diddle-daddling. I'm going to spare you all the details. I diddle-daddled, and that second edition sold out. So I ended up missing out on that one. I think a third edition is in the works, so hopefully by the time I'm done with part 3 of my death year, that last leg in 2021, that deck will be okay. And that'll be something that I'll be allowed to purchase for next year, because it'll be on my 2020 wish list. It's currently on my 2020 wish list. But you know, that thing of fear of missing out, I did miss out, and life went on. I still had decks. I have the the Sacred Self-Care, which is mass produced through Hay House, so it worked out. I didn't cry too much. I was a little sad because I was like, "Aw," but it's okay. It's all right. Let's see. Move to March. Oh, I'm about to go to the Northwest Tarot Symposium, and I'm curious to see how I do when it comes to purchases. I'm feeling confident in my ability to withhold from shopping. Last year, I gave myself a total freedom to buy what I want. This year is totally different. I will allow myself one wish list deck, and that's it. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to publish my Northwest Tarot Symposium vlogs from last year. I think I ended up doing it anyways. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what ended up happening, just so you guys know, I don't think I talked about it here. I ended up receiving a lot of, I got a freebie deck at the Northwest Tarot Symposium, and then friends there gave me they gave me decks, and it was amazing. So I received decks, but I didn't make any purchases of decks, which is cool. Let's see. March 16th. COVID-19 has officially shut the world down. I got the reverse Queen of Pentacles today. I feel like this is much, much ado about nothing, but I have to comply. I am grateful I have, let me see. I am grateful I haven't bought any more decks because all of my resources need to go into paying debts and saving. Plus, let's see. Oh, yeah, look. Plus, sadly, business is slow. And that's actually great. Okay. Oh, I can always do hotlines, is what I think I'm saying here. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to start working from home tomorrow. I kind of hope we get more days at home because I don't want me or my family catching that virus. I am grateful, let's see, for the lull in the readings as I transfer jobs and travel. At some point, I may have to lower. Well, anyways, I'm not going to go into all of that, but it's interesting, guys. Even just that short time, then because May, I ended up being so busy with reason. It was so crazy. It was like a tsunami. It was like it pulled all the way back in April. Like I only had a sprinkle of reading booked through on my business, and then whoosh, the wave came in May. It was a lot of them. I go on and on about being grateful. Okay. So on March 23rd, I made a decision to hold off on selling my decks. And I'm glad I did that because I started saying, okay, let me see if I can, like, if I'm just needing a moment to just get to work with them. And that's what it turned out. And so some will probably still move on to new homes, but we're still in pause mode. Let's just pause. Let's see what else. March 29th. I am going to be very discerning when backing future decks. And I'll just leave it at that. I think, yeah. Backing decks it's definitely going to change for me going forward in the future. And I'm going to be highly selective and very discerning. And that's okay. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a good takeaway. April 2nd, 2020. Oh boy. I don't know why I tapped this. It's kind of tied to this last entry, and I won't go into it because I think I'll go more into it in the part 2 when we do the looking at my computer screen. You're going to get to see my computer screen. So I will talk more about it because I'm going to be very transparent in that analysis. I'm basically opening that up to you to see my deck collection. It's my deck collection, and that's not like oh, I'm sharing my finances with you. I'm sharing my deck collection, and I want to be as honest with you and also being honest with myself. And so I think it's great. That's all I did. And I have a collection of right now, actively. I was getting ready to send some decks to my son that are going to be his. But right now I have 169 decks. I don't know why I kept thinking I had 180. But I have 169. Damn it, 180. But, there's some things that come with that. Some shadowy stuff. Good stuff, bad stuff, all in between. Let's see, April 10th, 2020. All right, let's see. Well, I got some decks. the Muse Tarot Mass Market. That was a December pre-order, so that one actually doesn't count, and that one's okay. That one doesn't violate anything. Then I got a business buy with the Giant Rider Tarot. That one's not here, but I have a super large Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, and yeah, have that because I need that for my courses that I plan to teach. So about that, we'll go more into detail about what exactly I purchased in the next two videos. We'll talk more about that. Let's see, anything else here? Oh, April 15th, my Gaian Tarot got here today. And I've been loving and adoring it ever since. This one is here, right? It's never leaves my side. Love, love, love. All right. What else? We're going into May. May 5th. Well, it looks like I have more self-control than I thought. Or at least for the moment. I really wanted the second edition of the Hay House or 8th House Tarot. It's got matte cardstock, 350 GSM. I mean, I am a deck collector after all. And I was like, oh, I really wanted it because the first edition is holographic and it's just sometimes not great for the video readings that I do, but I still love it. But I was like, oh, come on now. And I didn't get it. And let's see, May 8th. Oh, this is fun. I have decided I am not going to seek out Doreen Virtue decks at all. I am not going to get rid of her decks, but as they fall apart, I will replace them with decks I create instead, like I did with my my very own Love Oracle. So, like the Romance Angels Oracle, the gilding is a mess. It's just starting to peel. It's all the Hay House deck cardstock. So this is my little Love Oracle that I made to replace it. I'm not going to go through it because I've gone through it several times. But that's when I made a declaration on May 8th. I was like, oh no. I said, she's toxic to my spirit, that lady. Toxic to my spirit. I said that because and this is why I had to tell myself no more. I was on Amazon combing through to see if I could find some decks just randomly of hers that maybe somebody put up there. Who knows? Like I got lucky with my lovely Gaian Tarot. Well, I saw her book. Like she has this book. I'm not even going to talk about her title. I just know that she's toxic to my soul. So no more. So that was something that was important to me to declare. Oh, and I decided I'm going to give a backup copy of the Power of Surrender Oracle and I ended up doing that. And again, I'll show you guys the decks in the next parts of the video where we have front facing again. Because that edition, the one that I had, I used it to death and it had some water damage. And the gilding was a mess as well. So I needed to replace it because I use it for client readings. And then I had this section that was just going to be my tips and takeaways that we're going to be discussing later. And what else do I I talked about another purchase that I made that we'll go more into detail. That was not, that actually broke a rule. So really, I only had like two so far that I broke rules on. Everything else were gifts or some other criteria that allow for it. Like they were just coming in. So if I ordered them last year, what can I do? Let's see. Anything else? Yeah. And talking about just leaving certain Facebook groups, time to like move on and let things go, and it just not all of them. There's some that I have to stay in and kind of keep your feet in. You gotta have, if you're in this business, or if you're in this what do we call this, a hobby of collecting decks. Yeah, I'm gonna dibble dabble in the Facebook groups, but I'm gonna be now selective about them, and so, and just energetically, your intuition just tells you sometimes it's just like, time to go, time to bounce. So that's what I did, and that feels lighter too, and I'm going to continue to purge groups, and it's like no hard feelings or anything like that. It's just, if it's just not, if I'm not really interacting with the people, or there's a lot of infighting and weirdness, I'm just not here for that. So yeah, so the depth year, the journal has been great. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm getting sleepy because it's late here, but it's been wonderful doing this. It's been really good going through and tabbing. Like I said, I'm going to save these tabs because they're going to go in for between, the next 6 months. But I encourage people, if you're doing a depth year, consider maybe not necessarily doing full-on years. Maybe do a month, or do a quarter, or do 6 months, and maybe journal about it. If you don't want to do like me, like you're going to see what I did, you're going to be like, oh my God, you did this on steroids. This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks, of what I did. This is tip of the iceberg. I actually, what did I do? Well, you'll see spreadsheets, and you'll see they're not going to be complicated where you're not going to understand. You're going to love my little analysis, but steroids, what I did. You don't need to do that. You can just simply journal, and it's nice to kind of track how much different decks that you did not purchase, or maybe you'll go back to later. That's why I have a wish list, to make sure I keep track, because maybe later on I am able to buy that deck and get that deck, and maybe it's time for it to come into my collection. Who knows? But this has been helpful, and I'm super duper excited to see what happens for the next 6 months. This time it's really serious. It's full on depth year. No buy now. I mean, replacement, if something falls apart, literally falls apart, disintegrates in my hands, or if like I'm buying candles, I have to buy candles for my readings. But that's like it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Wish me luck, folks. All right. Let me know what you think. Sorry for this long story time, but I thought you would find it interesting. We can go, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments section. If you have any thoughts, I'm interested in hearing them. If you're in a depth year, let me know how your depth year is going. How's it going for you? Are you still on the wagon? Did you fall off the wagon? Did you modify it? Did you say, oh, screw it, I'm done? What happened? And yeah, I'm doing the wacky idea of extending it. That's how much I'm loving it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. So much love, so many blessings to all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Please like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe, because I got more for you. and definitely comment. It may take me a little bit to get to all the comments, but I definitely read them, and I usually am going to respond. So, yeah, reach out. All right, guys, much love. Bye.